Well, another Premier League weekend is over and we're going to have a quick look at all of the games that have been played this weekend. But I'm going to kick things off with Liverpool versus Crystal Palace. But first of all, if you're liking these series about the Premier League previews, reviews, I know I didn't do a Premier League preview this week. Sometimes I don't always get the chance to or I don't get the time to. But if you like these videos, what I'd like you to do is, yeah, you can like the videos, that's absolutely fine, whatever you want to do. But what is more important to me is if you have any ideas or if you have any comments that you maybe want me to raise in a next video that I'm going to make or anything like that, your opinions and your views, your questions, that is really what I want to get into. Me previewing games is absolutely fine, but if you're a fan of, say, if you're a West Ham fan, you're a Chelsea fan, or if you're a fan of any other club, if you want me to talk about stuff, I am very unbiased. I can go on record and say that I am unbiased, and I'm not a football banter person. I can talk about Manchester United, and I'm a Liverpool fan. I can talk at them in a measured way, or about them in a measured way. If there's anything you want to know, or anything you want me to discuss in a video, let me know it in the comments below. That'd be much appreciated. Now, let's get straight into Liverpool versus Crystal Palace in what might be one of the best defensive displays that I can remember in a long time, since maybe Carragher and Hyypiä would probably be the most recent memory. You've got to look back as well. You have to look back just even a little bit. The closest time when we nearly won the title again with Luis Suarez and Brendan Rodgers was manager at the time, we still conceded 50 odd goals or something like that. We had the 8th best defensive record in the league, and we almost won the league that season with a team that, if you put it up against, man for man, obviously apart from Suarez and obviously Gerrard and Henderson were really firing that season, but if you put it up man for man and ages that people were back then, like Coutinho and Sterling and such, who were still in a very developmental stage, and you put it up, especially the back four and the goalkeeping situation, then you put it up against the team we have now, there's really no comparison. Yes, you'd probably still put Gerrard in there and Suarez would still make the team, but aside from that, it would be really difficult to, change much of the rest of the team. And what it looked like to me, we were put under pressure by Crystal Palace, and they can do that. They can do that, and they will do that to other teams. They are a difficult team to play against now that Roy Hodgson's in charge. He does have them defensively solid, and in some ways we got lucky. Was it a penalty? Was it not a penalty for Salah? That's not for me to judge. I don't know. In my mind, I'm happy we got it. If it was given against us, like it was against Everton last year when Sam Allardyce was in charge, yeah, I'm not going to be happy about it. And I can understand why Palace fans and fans of the Premier League, around the Premier League, aren't happy about that penalty being given. Totally understand that, I really do. And we were lucky in that aspect as well, because another day, a referee could turn around and say, nah, it's not a penalty. And we would have gone into half-time 0-0. Because we got that, we still ended up under a lot of pressure in the second half. Virgil van Dijk, Joe Gomez and Alisson, that little trio, that little defensive trio, stood so tall, and they have to do that for the rest of the season because they were so immense, they were so important. Salah had an off game, he did. They're all going to have off games at some point. Firmino had an off game, but he might not be up to speed yet, but he was everywhere. He was everywhere. He was CDM, centre mid, right mid, left mid, forward. He was everywhere. You can't criticise the work rate. And, Naby Keita still turns up and he's doing absolute bits. One day he's going to get a goal and it's going to be a screamer. We know it. I'm pleased for it. 2 games into the season, we've scored 6 goals and we've got 2 clean sheets. I'm happy from a Liverpool's perspective. Let me know what you think in the comments below of that game. Now we're going to go back in time and we're going to look at, starting from Saturday, obviously then go on through to Sunday. Cardiff and Newcastle kicked the weekend off with a very... Cardiff should have won that game. They should have. Newcastle went down to 10 men. Kennedy somehow stayed on the pitch. It should have been 9 men, to be honest. I don't know how I don't understand that. I don't understand what happened in that game. Newcastle got a penalty in the 95th minute, and you're thinking, right, John Joe Shelby's on it. He's on the pitch. He's got to be on this penalty. Kennedy steps up. As soon as he stepped up, and I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Benitez, are you seriously going to let him? Benitez, remembering Benitez as being like, no, do things my way. You do it my way or it's the highway. I just can't see in my mind how Benitez has said, right, I want Kennedy to take it over John Joe Shelby. They could have won the match. They wouldn't have deserved to win it, but they could have won it. Cardiff were the better team. They deserved more from this game. They really did. But it ended 0-0. What else can you say about it? Newcastle they got lucky to get a point. They did. They should feel lucky to get a point as well. Up next on my list here is Everton 2, Southampton 1. I think Richarlison got a goal, and I can't remember who. Oh, it was Walcott who scored the other goal. Southampton, Danny Ings scored for Southampton. Good for him to get off the mark, but Everton just had that little bit extra over Southampton in this game. Southampton, again, I think, even though they've signed Danny Ings, I still think they're going to struggle for goals, and I think they are going to struggle at the back as well. They brought in this giant dude who was like sat on the bench. I don't know, maybe play that giant dude at centre-back and maybe that, you know, it would have been better. I don't know. If you've got a brand new centre-back, why aren't you playing him? It's not like you've got a midweek game. Did he have a twinge? Can't have, because he was on the bench. I don't understand that one, but I think Southampton could still struggle. But it did look positive from Everton. It did. And I think with Marco Silva, they're going to play a better brand of football throughout the season. I think they're going to be one to watch out for around top 8, top 6, possibly. If things go really well for Everton, then yeah, top 6, definitely. Because there are teams in the top 6 that will slip out of it. There will be. My predictions for top 6 might already be wrong. But anyway, let's move on. Leicester versus Wolves. Leicester won 2-0, but they lost Jamie Vardy to a very... When you see the tackle, at full speed, yeah, it looks bad. It looks bad. When you see it in slow motion, it still looks bad. I know people were probably thinking I was going to say it doesn't look that bad, but no, it still looks bad. Like, it doesn't matter. I know Claude Puel came out after the game and said, look, I don't think that was a soft penalty. That was a soft red card. It wasn't. Really wasn't. It really wasn't. Jamie Vardy had that look in his eyes that he was just like, I'm going to kill you. And that is literally what he looked like when he's going in for that tackle. He just looks like that all the time. It looks like he's on something, but that he's just so determined to do so well and get the ball, and he just wiped the guy out. And I thought it was a bad tackle. People will disagree with me, no doubt. But yeah, I think also when we play Leicester, I think he's still banned. So that could be actually quite good for us. But defensively, we should be up for it. Anyway, disappointing from Wolves though. I thought Wolves... Maybe I'm expecting too much from the guys that spent a lot of money, like Fulham and Wolves, coming up into the Premier League. Maybe I'm expecting a bit too much here. Obviously, talk about Fulham in just a second as well. But, yeah, I don't know. I thought they spent a lot of money. They recruited quite well. Have they recruited too many and now it's not gelling? I don't know. Maybe let me know in the comments below if you agree with that. Next up, we've got Tottenham versus Fulham. Tottenham 3-1. Fulham got a goal. I think it was Mitrovic that scored it. I think he also could have made it 2-1 at one point. And then Tottenham just decided to go, nah, we're going to win this game. We feel like winning it. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go and win it. Harry Kane scores in August for the first time ever, I think. So he's gotten over that little curse. So maybe he'll actually still be on for the Golden Boot this year. Maybe. But it was a good performance from Tottenham, I thought. From the highlights that I've seen, it was a fairly good performance. But... again, I think that early on in a game, I think Tottenham are there to be got at. I don't think that they start games very quickly. I don't think that... not that I can talk this weekend. Liverpool didn't start very quickly either. But I just think that Tottenham used to start games and you'd be seeing... I'd see notifications flash up on my phone like, oh, 4 minutes in, Dele Alli or something like that. It's just crazy. I don't know. Maybe they're still getting back into it because a lot of their players only came back from the World Cup quite late on. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to read too much into it. But we move on to West Ham versus Bournemouth. And West Ham led this game for quite a while. I think it was like 60-odd minutes or something like that. And then Bournemouth just decided again, kind of like Tottenham, like, no, we're going to run through your defence now. We're just going to... Callum Wilson had 5 West Ham players surrounding him. And he dribbled past the lot of them and slotted it in on his weak foot past the goalkeeper. That was a brilliant goal. And then I don't think it was very long after that when they got their second goal. And they took this game away from West Ham. They really did. And West Ham have now got 2 losses out of 2 games. Not looking great, but it's only 2 games into the season. There's still a lot for them. You know, they've got a brand new manager. Again, another team that have recruited heavily. They've got a lot of players. Again, this is the thing. Sometimes, did West Ham have a challenging pre-season? Did they come up against teams that were of a certain quality? Like, did they come up against teams that were equal or better than them? I'm not sure when I looked through their pre-season, when it was pre-season, I'm looking at them, it's like, all right, yeah, they're beating teams or they're doing well against teams, but what quality are these teams as well? Have they prepared well enough? Yes, they've gone out and got the transfers, but have they prepared well enough coming into this season? I don't think so. And maybe it's going to take maybe it's going to take 6 or so games for them to actually get into some sort of rhythm. But they don't have easy games coming up, so they're going to have to pick something up somewhere. Or because I think they're 19th right now. I can't remember who's bottom, but I think they're 19th in the league right now. It's not looking like the fresh start that West Ham fans probably do deserve it, to be fair, after being, starved of money over the last couple of years. But I say couple of years, could have even been a longer time than that. What do I know? Anyway, let's move on to the final game of Saturday. Chelsea 3, Arsenal 2. Honestly, hand on heart, Arsenal should have won this game. They should have scored at least 4 goals, if not 5 or 6. Aubameyang. Aubameyang. You expect him to score from 18 yards. Never mind 5. Mkhitaryan, same sort of spot, literally same sort of delivery into the box, and he skies it. Again, I think they could have been either 2-0 up, or they could have been equalised quite early on. They could have done so much more in this game if they were just a little bit more clinical. And it surprised me how clinical Morata was. I thought when he got one-on-one with the goalkeeper, I thought, he's missing this, and he didn't. What do I know? Not a lot. But even so, it was a good... I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I can see the positives from that game. I'm like, they got at Chelsea. And maybe, is it just because it was Chelsea? Chelsea is still a team in transition, but they're maybe handling their transition a little bit better. Maybe they've got some more quality players in that team. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what it is with Arsenal, but it could... They're going to be looking to the West Ham game coming up, thinking they have to smash the absolute back doors off West Ham and get their season going, because that's 2 losses now for Arsenal as well. I think they're sat 17th in the league right now. League position isn't very important right now, but it kind of is as well. Obviously you can't win the title in August, but you can't get in top 4 or top 6 in August, but you can damn sure well lose a lot of path on it. You lose a lot of footway on it as well. So they've got to start actually picking things up. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is with Arsenal, but I saw positives in their attacking play, and I've said in my previews and my prediction for the season, Arsenal are going to have to go out there and try and outscore their opponents. They could have done that. They could have done that against Chelsea, but it wasn't meant to be. Now let's move on to Sunday, and I might have actually skipped there. There we go. Sunday, got 3 games on Sunday. Burnley versus Watford. Watford win 3-1. Now this is a game that I haven't actually seen, but I've heard from what I've heard from people I've spoken to who that I work with, it was actually really, really good performance from Watford. And to get 3-1 against Burnley, not many teams did that last season. So is this going to be kind of like that? They've had a good season, and I think I don't know. I can't remember if they're still in the Europa League or not. But they had a good season last year. Is that going to wear off now? Is that going to be it? Is that it? I don't know. It's a disappointing one for Burnley, I would say, because he didn't make many signings over the summer. And is that, again, a mistake that they've made? But on Watford, massive credit, because they've come out of this game and they've absolutely done really well. Watford do start seasons quite well. It's when it gets to past January, can they keep it up and actually maybe, top half, start pushing for top 8? I don't know. I think they could, but they've got to keep that momentum going. Next up, we get to Man City versus Huddersfield. Man City win 6-1. What more do you need to say? Because it makes talking about the next match after this, it's going to make my point much, much clearer about the top 4, people challenging for the title. I think it's too early to talk about challenging for the title, because to challenge for the title, you've got to challenge Man City. Huddersfield, they just came up against a Man City that just went, we're on it today. And when they're on it, like they were for pretty much all of last season, and it looks like they're picking up exactly where they left off last season, you just have to stand there and be like, right, we're either going to defend against them, or we're just going to have to make sure they don't get into double digits. Okay, they did this against Stoke last season, where they beat Stoke 7-2. It's unfortunate for Huddersfield, it really is, because Man City are a monster for anyone to come up against. Never mind Huddersfield. So hopefully Huddersfield don't feel too bad, But Man City, they are the. If you're going to challenge for the title, you have to challenge Man City. They are the champions. You look at the way that they play. It's phenomenal. Phenomenal play. Guardiola teams play phenomenal football. Obviously, they're wanting him to, as well to get some European success, but why not win the Premier League again? You know, why not? No one's won it back-to-back since... Honestly, don't even know. Can't remember, but it must be about 10 years ago, because I can't remember anyone winning it back-to-back in recent memory. I really can't, actually. No, can't remember. Obviously, we've never won it, so, meh. But yeah, phenomenal performance by Manchester City against one of the smaller teams that can be difficult as well. Which leads me in to the final game of Sunday, and the final game I'm going to talk about, which is Brighton versus Manchester United. The fact that Manchester United scored 2 goals in this game is fortunate. One of them was a penalty. One of them was a good header from Lukaku as well. Brighton played very, very well. Brighton played exceptionally well. They really did. The goal from Glenn Murray, the goal from Glenn Murray was a brilliant goal. Flew into the box and he barely looked at it and just chipped it in past David De Gea. There were individual performances for Manchester United that just did not look positive. David De Gea, alright, everybody has a bad game, but how is he doing after the World Cup when he's made some high profile mistakes for Spain? Are they now leaking into his club level? Which then also it makes you question the people that are in front of him. Eric Bailly has always been said since he came in, and obviously, you know, Manchester United got second place in the Premier League last season, that he's one of the best defenders that they've had in a long time. I think he's 24, 23 years old, something like that. Might even be 25. I might have his age wrong. They're bringing Lindelof, who was very much a work in progress, and also looking to the future as well as their centre-back pairing. A lot of what you see on like social media and people that you talk to, guy I work with, is looking for Lindelof and Bailly to be the future partnership for Manchester United. They don't want to see Smalling and Jones, people that were still there from Ferguson's era, they kind of make the grade, but they kind of don't as well. Okay, so they put Bailly and Lindelof in. They didn't... Out of the 2 defenders, Bailly was the worst defender. He was. And I'm not looking to slag off Manchester United because I'm a Liverpool fan. Hopefully I'm not slagging them off. I'm just saying what pretty much everybody already knows by now. It's Wednesday, so of course everybody knows it. Is that wasn't good enough for a Manchester United team. You look at the legacy that Manchester United have as an attacking team and a defensive force. That's not good enough for them. Going forward, it's not good enough. Paul Pogba and his agent, all that crap that's going on as well. I know you can't do it, but I'd be looking at suspending a player and fining them for the kind of comments that are coming out from like him and his agent. It's not on. It's really not on, and it's really disrespectful to your club. If a player of ours was doing that, if the only thing I can compare it to is when Raheem Sterling did an interview with The Sun, and I cannot respect Sterling anymore. I can't. I can appreciate that he's a good player, and he's better in the Manchester City setup, no doubt. He's a good player, very good attacking player. Can't respect him whatsoever. If you're not, even if you're not a Liverpool fan, everybody knows about the stuff with The Sun. So then, why did a player of ours go and do an interview with The Sun? You don't do it. You just don't do it. This type of stuff, while probably not on that level, do agents do things off their own back, or does the player just go, yeah, I can green light you to say that, and go and send out tweets and stuff like that, slagging off legends and how he wouldn't lose sleep over finding Pogba a new club. It's disrespectful. You don't disrespect the people that pay you, that paid record amounts of money to get you in the first place, and then what? You're just going to disrespect it? Like, I don't get it. They did not perform well enough. You get Manchester United fans saying, we've got the team that should have wiped the floor with Brighton. It's like, yeah, but you didn't. Why? Why did it happen last season? Why is it still happening this season? Alright, he didn't get the signings that he wanted. Well, what he should have done then, Mourinho, is he should have said, you're not backing me. I'm out of here. If you're not going to back me, I'm going to go. Because I can't work with what I've got. That's what you should do. And people say, well, you don't walk out on a job. Yes, you do. If you're not happy in your job, I'm pretty sure Jose Mourinho would still find a job somewhere else. Don't know where, but he would still find one. So All he should have done was just been like, nah, you're not backing me. Go get someone else to do it and see if they can do it like any better than I can. Because since he came in, Jose Mourinho, every Man United fan has been saying that Jose Mourinho is the best manager in the world. Why? He was, and he certainly was definitely up there as one of the best managers at one time, but he's not right now. You've got to put that at Pep. Maybe people would say Zidane because he's won the 3 Champions Leagues in a row. I don't know. He didn't win the league and stuff like that. But he's definitely in that conversation. Right now, Mourinho isn't. Yeah, he won the Europa League and he won a cup. Can't remember what one it was as well. But right now, again, they're still making similar sort of mistakes. They're not playing very well. Players don't look happy. People talking about it's an unhappy camp at Manchester United. That's all linked to Mourinho. So I don't know. I'm an outsider trying to look in, trying to give an opinion on that one. I can't really give it's an unbiased one in my opinion, but people might disagree and say, no, you're biased because you're a Liverpool fan. That's fine, that's your opinion. Anyway, that is the review of the Premier League at the weekend. Sorry I haven't got it out earlier, I just couldn't. I was tired, really, really tired. It's been a hard week at work. So, apologies for that, but I'll try and get a bit more consistent with videos as the season goes on. Anyway, thank you so much. If you've stuck it out this long, thank you so much for making it through this video. It's a longer video than I thought I wanted it to be. But if you've enjoyed it, please do like it and subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you ever so much for watching. As always, I'll catch you later.